The knife slipped from my hand and clattered against the cutting board, slicing through the silence of the bustling kitchen like a confession no one wanted to hear. Blood welled up from my thumb, hot and accusing, but it was nothing compared to the sting of Jordan's laugh echoing in my ears from last night. Sharp, disbelieving, like I'd just told him I planned to fly to the moon with a whisk and a prayer. In that moment, staring at the crimson drop mixing with the diced onions, I realized I'd fallen for the one guy who saw my deepest passion as a punchline. And God help me, I couldn't stop thinking about cooking for him anyway. It started at that rooftop party in Brooklyn, the kind where the city skyline glittered like a promise you weren't sure you could keep. Summer heat clung to the air, thick with the scent of grilled street food and too much cologne, and I was there because my best friend Mia dragged me out, insisting I needed to stop hiding in my tiny apartment oven like some culinary hermit. Mia, with her cropped purple hair and unapologetic swagger, was the lesbian force of nature who kept my world from imploding. She'd been my roommate since college, the one who caught me crying over a botched beurre blanc and turned it into a lesson on resilience over cheap wine. "Alex," she'd say, her voice all gravel and grace. "You're 25, gay as a rainbow flag in a pride parade, and talented enough to make Gordon Ramsay weep. Live a little." I wasn't living much that night. I hovered near the makeshift bar, nursing a gin and tonic, watching groups cluster like ingredients in a stew I hadn't figured out how to season. That's when Jordan appeared, cutting through the crowd like he owned the view. And maybe he did. His family's real estate firm had a hand in half the brownstones below us. Tall, broad-shouldered, with that effortless blonde hair that looked like it was styled by the wind off the East River, he was the type who turned heads without trying. I knew of him vaguely from Mia's stories. Her girlfriend Lena worked at a rival firm, and Jordan was the golden boy everyone whispered about, the one who closed deals with a smile that could disarm a boardroom. He ended up next to me at the railing, grabbing a beer from the cooler. "Hell of a view," he said, his voice low and easy, like we'd been friends for years. Up close, his eyes were this piercing blue, the kind that made you feel seen and stripped bare all at once. "Yeah," I replied, trying not to sound like the awkward sous chef I was, slinging plates at a midtown bistro to pay rent. "Makes you forget the rats in the subway." He chuckled, a sound that warmed the humid air. "I'm Jordan. You." "Alex." I shook his hand, firm grip, calluses from who knows what. Tennis, maybe, or climbing the corporate ladder. We fell into easy talk. The absurdity of New York real estate prices, the best hole-in-the-wall taco spot in Williamsburg. It felt natural, the way conversations do when you're both dodging the undercurrents of who you really are in a city that pretends to embrace everyone. Then, because Mia's timing is impeccable, she swooped in with Lena, slinging an arm around my shoulders. "This is my boy Alex, the future James Beard winner. He's got this dream to open his own place, farm to table, queer-owned, the works. Focus on comfort food with a twist, like mac and cheese that tells your ex to fuck off." I flushed, elbowing her lightly. "Mia, come on." Jordan's eyebrows shot up, and he leaned in, genuinely curious, or so I thought. "A restaurant? That's ambitious. What kind?" I hesitated, the gin loosening my tongue just enough. "Italian-inspired, but with my spin. Pastas from scratch, sauces that layer flavors like stories. I've been testing recipes in my shoebox kitchen, dreaming of a spot in the village where people come not just to eat, but to feel something." He paused, beer midway to his lips, and then he laughed. Not a kind laugh, not the warm one from before, but a bark, short and skeptical, like I'd pitched him a unicorn farm. "A chef? In this economy? Man, that's cute. Like, adorable pipe dream. You got a backup? Real estate's hiring." The words landed like ice water. Cute. Adorable. As if my nights elbow deep in dough, my savings scraped together for a single decent knife, were some kid's crayon drawing. Mia shot him a look that could curdle milk, but I forced a smile, the one I'd perfected after years of family dinners where my dad suggested toughening up instead of chasing hobbies. "Yeah, well, dreams are free. Pays the bills and hope." He must have sensed the shift because his face softened, that blue gaze flickering with something. Regret? Interest? "Hey, no offense. It's just bold. Refreshing, actually. Most people here are climbing someone else's ladder." We talked more after that, the laugh fading into the night like exhaust from a cab. He asked about my recipes, leaning closer as I described my nana's ragu, tweaked with smoked paprika for a kick. By the time the party thinned, he'd slipped me his number. Text me sometime. Maybe cook for me. Prove me wrong. I did. God, I did. The next weekend, I invited him to my place, a cramped walk-up in Bushwick where the fire escape doubled as my herb garden. Mia had cleared out, winking as she left with a bottle of Prosecco. Don't burn the place down with lust, chef boy. Jordan arrived in chinos and a button-down, sleeves rolled up, carrying a six-pack like an offering. The kitchen was barely big enough for two, but I made it work. Risotto simmering on the stove, asparagus roasting, the air thick with garlic and thyme. He perched on a stool, watching me with that intense focus, like I was the deal he couldn't close. This is incredible, he said after the first bite, eyes widening. You weren't kidding. It's like home, but better. I grinned, wiping my hands on a towel, the earlier laugh still a faint bruise. Told you, dreams taste better when you chase them. We ate on the floor, couch too threadbare, cross-legged amid throw pillows, trading stories. He grew up in the Hamptons, summers sailing, winters at boarding school where being different meant excelling at lacrosse to avoid questions. His family was old money, expectations heavier than the anchors on their yacht. Dad wants me running the firm someday, he said, voice tight. Mom just wants grandkids. The perfect son, you know. I nodded, seeing the cracks in his polish. And you? What do you want? He looked at me then, really looked, the risotto forgotten. Something real, not scripted. That night stretched into mornings, texts turning to calls to coffee runs in the village. Jordan became a fixture, the guy who'd swing by after late meetings, collapsing on my couch while I prepped for work, stealing bites from my test batches. You're magic, Alex, he'd murmur, head on my shoulder, the TV droning some Netflix special. It was easy, this pull between us, like ingredients that shouldn't mix, but somehow created the perfect sauce. But under it all simmered the unspoken. He never labeled it, never pushed past the lingering touches, the way his knee brushed mine during movie nights. I told myself it was fine. New York was full of gray areas, guys like us navigating the tightrope of desire and denial. Mia saw through it, cornering me one evening as I chopped fennel. He's into you, dummy. But he's scared. Family like his. Coming out's like burning the inheritance papers. He's not out. I paused, knife hovering. Jordan had mentioned exes, vague, genderless, but never details. She shrugged, popping a cherry tomato. Lena says he's the office flirt. All charm with the ladies to keep up appearances. Classic closet case. You deserve better than breadcrumbs. I waved her off, but her words stuck like burnt bits in a pan. Still, when Jordan invited me to his sister's engagement party in the Hamptons, I went. Be my +1, he'd said over the phone, voice casual but edged with need. I need someone real there. The drive was 3 hours of classic rock and stolen glances, his hand on the gear shift inches from mine. The house was a sprawling estate, white clapboard and manicured lawns, the kind of place where dreams like mine went to die under polite sneers. Guests milled in linen and pearls, air scented with jasmine and old money. Jordan's sister, Eliza, was all golden curls and practiced smiles, her fiancé a Wall Street clone with teeth like piano keys. You must be Alex, she said, air-kissing my cheek. Jordan's told us all about your cooking. Said it's the only thing that keeps him sane. He hadn't, of course, but I played along, charming the aunts with tales of my nana's kitchen in Little Italy, where sauce simmered for days and love was measured in pinches of salt. Jordan watched from across the lawn, his smile tight as he worked the room, arm linked with a brunette cousin for show. Later, by the pool under string lights, he found me nursing a scotch. Sorry about the circus. It's all performance. I shrugged, the alcohol loosening the knot in my chest. I get it. But when do you drop the act? His face shadowed, the party noise fading. Soon. I promise. Just. Not tonight. We kissed then, impulsive and fierce, hidden by the hedge. His lips tasted of bourbon and desperation, hands framing my face like I was fragile. It was everything. The heat, the hunger, but when he pulled back, eyes wide, he whispered, "This can't get out." Not yet. I nodded, heart pounding, but the seed of doubt Mia planted took root. Was I his secret spice? added for flavor but never the main course. Weeks blurred into fall, leaves turning in Central Park as our rhythm deepened. I'd cook after shifts, cocoa vin on rainy Tuesdays, fresh pasta when he aced a deal. He'd arrive disheveled, tie loosened, collapsing into my space like it was sanctuary. Your food, he'd say, fork midway. It's the only thing that feels like mine. One night, after a particularly brutal family dinner, he'd vented about his dad's latest lecture on settling down. I pushed. We were on the fire escape, city hum below, stars smudged by light pollution. Jordan, what are we? Friends? More? I can't keep guessing. He stared at the skyline, jaw clenched. I care about you, Alex. More than anyone. But my world. It's not ready. Not ready for what? Me? Or you being gay? The word hung, raw and untested between us. He flinched, then met my eyes, voice breaking. Both. Dad's already on me about Eliza's wedding. Family legacy, he calls it. If I come out now, it's over. Trust fund, job, everything. I reached for his hand, calluses rough against mine. And if you don't? What about us? He squeezed back, thumb tracing my knuckles. Give me time. Please. I did. Mia warned me. Time's what they say when they mean never. But I cooked on, layering flavors like layers of patience. Our first real date was at a quiet spot in the East Village, no family shadows. He held my hand under the table, ordered tiramisu, just to see me smile. You're changing me, he admitted, candlelight flickering in his eyes, making me want to be brave. But bravery has a price. Eliza's wedding loomed, a glittering affair in the Hamptons, and Jordan asked me to come, as his best friend, the cook who'd cater a side dish to keep it low-key. Mia rolled her eyes when I told her. Low-key? In that family? You're the beard, Alex. Wake up. I went anyway, packing my knives like armor. The venue was a dream. Ocean views, white tints billowing like sails. I set up in a corner kitchen, prepping my contribution, lemon herb risotto, bright and hopeful. Guests raved, but Jordan was a ghost, shuttled between toasts and photos, his smile a mask. Then, during the reception, I saw it. Him, arm around a bridesmaid named Claire, her laugh bright as they swayed to the band. Whispers followed. Jordan's finally settling down. My stomach twisted, risotto turning to ash in my mouth. I confronted him later, in the empty kitchen, pots still steaming. What's this? Part of the act. His face crumpled. Alex, no? It's nothing. Dad set it up. Networking, he said. I told her I'm not interested. But you let it happen. Dancing, laughing, while I'm here pretending to be the help. You're not. He stepped closer, hands out. This is my life. The pressure. It's crushing me. And I'm what? Collateral. Tears burned, hot and unwelcome. You laughed at my dream once. Now you're laughing at us. He grabbed my arm, voice desperate. I never laughed at you. That night, I was scared. Scared of wanting this. Wanting you, so bad it hurt. Because if I admit it, I lose everything. I yanked away, the door slamming behind me like a final chop. The drive back to the city was a blur, rain lashing the windshield, Mia's texts lighting up my phone. Where are you? Call me. I didn't. I holed up in my apartment, kitchen dark, recipes scattered like broken promises. Days turned to a week, Jordan's calls unanswered, his voicemails pleading. Alex, please. I ended it with Claire. I'm telling them. For us. But doubt festered. Mia showed up with takeout, vegan dumplings from her favorite spot, and pulled the truth out like a stubborn cork. He loves you, idiot. But love in his world. It's a battlefield. Then why fight? I whispered, head in hands. Because some wars are worth it. She squeezed my shoulder. But you gotta decide if you're his soldier or his casualty. The breaking point came on a crisp October Saturday. Jordan at my door, soaked from the drizzle, eyes red-rimmed. I did it. Told my parents. Dad threw a glass, called me a disappointment. Mom just cried. Eliza hugged me, said she knew. I let him in, the air thick with unsaid words. He collapsed on the couch, recounting the explosion, accusations of betrayal, threats to cut him off. I chose you, he said, voice raw. Lost the firm, the house. But I don't care. As long as I have this, us. We talked till dawn, peeling back layers, his fear of abandonment, rooted in a childhood of conditional love, my terror of being diminished again, the cute, dream reduced to scraps. Cook for me, he begged then, pulling me close. Not because you have to, because you want to. Every night, if you'll have me. I hesitated, then nodded, the hook in my chest easing. Only if you promise, no more laughs. No more hiding. Deal. His kiss was soft, sealing it. But resolutions are fragile as fresh pasta. Words spread in their circles, whispers at brunches, a cousin's passive-aggressive Facebook post about family values. Jordan's dad sent a lawyer's letter, freezing accounts. We scraped by on my bistro tips and his freelance gigs, the dream of my restaurant feeling farther than ever. Mia and Lena rallied, hosting a Fuck the Haters dinner at their place. Queer friends from the scene, artists and activists sharing stories of their own battles. You're not alone, Lena said, raising a glass. This city's built on outcasts. One night, tension boiled over. Jordan, stressed from job hunting, snapped during dinner. My experimental gnocchi deemed too risky, mirroring his jab at the party. Can't you just make something normal for once? The fork clattered. Normal? Like you were trying to be? He recoiled. That's not fair. I'm trying, for us. Trying looks a lot like retreating. I stood, heart hammering. I won't be your consolation prize, Jordan. The guy who cooks while you figure out your legacy. He reached for me, but I backed away. Alex, wait. No. Fix this. Or we're done. The door closed softly that time, but the silence roared. Days passed in radio silence. My shifts a numb routine, Mia's pep talks falling flat. Then, a package, my favorite knife set, engraved, to the chef who cuts through my bullshit. Come home, Jay. I went to his new place, a modest walk-up in Queens, worlds from the Hamptons. He opened the door, flour on his shirt, a charred attempt at carbonara on the stove. I cooked, he said sheepishly. Burned it. But I tried. Laughter bubbled up, real and releasing. We salvaged takeout, eating on the floor again, rebuilding brick by brick. I talked to Dad, he admitted. Not reconciliation yet, but boundaries. And I applied for a job at a nonprofit, helping queer youth with housing. Real work. Pride swelled, mixing with the stir-fry. And my restaurant. He grinned, that old spark. We're doing it. Together. I'll handle the business side. You the soul. The climax hit unexpectedly. A month later at a community event in the village, a queer food festival Mia roped us into. I demoed my ragu, crowd gathered, Jordan beaming from the front. Then, his dad appeared, uninvited, suit crisp, face thunderous. This charade ends now, son. The tent went quiet. Jordan stepped forward, hand in mine. It's not a charade, Dad. It's my life. And Alex? He's the best part. Words flew. Hurt. Accusations, please. You've ruined us, his father spat. No, Jordan countered, voice steady. Hiding did that. Loving him. That's salvation. The man deflated, eyes wet, turning away without another word. Not forgiveness, but a crack, enough for light. In the aftermath, as applause rippled for my dish, Jordan pulled me aside. Marry me? Not today, but someday. Cook for me forever. Tears pricked, joy sharp as fresh basil. Only if you chop the onions. We laughed, the city alive around us, our story simmering towards something unbreakable. Months rolled into winter, the kind of New York cold that seeps into your bones and makes you crave warmth in every form. Literal, emotional, the slow burn of a relationship tested by more than just family fallout. Jordan and I had patched the immediate wounds, but scars itch, and ours were no exception. He threw himself into the nonprofit gig, advocating for LGBTQ youth displaced by everything from coming-out evictions to the city's relentless gentrification. I'd catch him late at night, laptop glow illuminating his face, drafting grants with a fervor that mirrored my own kitchen obsessions. This matters, he'd say, pulling me into bed. Like your food does. My bistro shifts stretched longer, tips decent, but dreams deferred. The restaurant idea simmered on the back burner, sketches of menus, location scouts in the village thwarted by leases that demanded 6 figures up front. Mia, ever the optimist-pessimist hybrid, hosted strategy sessions over her girlfriend's killer brownies. Crowdfunded, she'd insist, Lena nodding furiously. Queer community eats this shit up, pun intended. One evening, as snow dusted the fire escape, Jordan surprised me with a binder, market research, investor pitches, even mock-ups of our logo. A stylized fork entwined with a rainbow flag. Partners, he said, eyes alight. In every sense. It felt real then, the future tangible as the gnocchi dough I kneaded beside him. We cooked together more, his skills improving from edible hazard to surprisingly competent stew. Laughter filled the kitchen, apologies woven into every shared recipe. But undercurrents lingered, his occasional flinch at pride stickers on my fridge, a hesitation when old friends texted about the family drama. Then came Claire. Not an ex, exactly, just the bridesmaid specter who'd become a friendly acquaintance through mutual circles. She reached out via Jordan's work email, innocent enough, collaboration on a youth housing event. She's cool, he assured me over breakfast tacos. Wants to volunteer. No weirdness. I trusted him mostly. But when the event rolled around, a chilly December fundraiser in a Soho loft, unease gnawed like undercooked chicken. The space buzzed with activists, donors in Kashmir mingling with kids, sharing stories that twisted my gut. Teens kicked out, sleeping in shelters, dreams deferred harder than mine. Jordan shone, moderating a panel with quiet command, while I manned the appetizer station, passing trays of mini Capri skewers. Claire arrived fashionably late, all sleek bob and power heels, hugging Jordan a beat too long. Hero of the hour, she cooed, then spotted me. Alex, the chef. Those skewers are divine. Remind me of Tuscany. Brooklyn twist, I replied, forcing warmth. She was charming, the type who collected causes like handbags, but her eyes on Jordan lingered. The night wore on, successful but exhausting. As cleanup began, I overheard them in the corner, her hand on his arm, voice low. We make a good team, Jay. Like old times. He laughed it off, but when he joined me later, sweat-damp shirt clinging, I couldn't hold it. Old times. What's that mean? Nothing. She's just persistent. Flirty habit from the wedding circuit. Persistent enough to touch you like that? Jealousy soured my voice, ugly and unbidden. He sighed, rubbing his neck. Alex, come on. You're seeing things. Am I? Or is this the act creeping back, the charming guy who keeps options open? We argued in the cab home, words slicing sharper than my Santoku. You think I'm ashamed? He shot back. After everything? I think you're scared, I countered, of losing the polished version everyone loves. He stared out the window, city lights streaking. Maybe, but I chose you. Every day. The silence stretched, heavy as lead. At my door, he kissed my forehead, chaste, apologetic. Let's not do this. Please. I nodded, but sleep evied me, Mia's voice echoing. Breadcrumbs. Spring thawed the ice, but not the chill between us. Jordan dove deeper into work, events pulling him away, while I buried myself in recipe trials, perfecting a spring pea ravioli that won raves at the bistro. Our dates became logistics. Quick dinners squeezed between schedules, touches tentative. Then, the surprise, a letter from his dad, not a disownment but an olive branch, couched in legalese. Terms for reconciliation, Jordan read aloud, voice neutral. Counseling, discretion in public, and a loan for your restaurant, if you commit to the family business part-time. My fork paused midair. A loan? With strings? It's a start, he said, eyes pleading. Shows he's trying. Or buying you back. The words escaped, bitter. His face hardened. Not everything's a transaction, Alex. Isn't it? In your world, yeah. The fight erupted, plates clattering. You don't get it, he yelled. This could fund our dream. Yours, mine. Stability. I get it plenty. It's control dressed as help. And where does that leave us? You, half in the closet again. He stormed out, doors slamming. Days blurred into a week of ghosts. Empty fridge, unanswered texts. Mia found me staring at my knives. Call him, or lose him. I did, voicemail cracking. I'm sorry. I want the dream, with you. No strings. He showed, tentative, with peonies and a bottle of Barolo. I turned it down. He confessed over makeup pasta. Told Dad it's all or nothing. He hung up, but it's progress. We rebuilt slower, therapy sessions for him turning into couples nights for us. Fear's my ingredient, he admitted one session. Too much, and it ruins the dish. Summer reignited the spark. Picnics in Prospect Park, where he'd feed me strawberries, whispering futures. But prejudice isn't just family. It's societal, insidious. At a Pride afterparty, a drunk donor cornered Jordan. Great work, kid. But toned down the flamboyance. Clients get twitchy. Jordan brushed it off, but later, in our cab, he tensed. It's nothing. It's everything, I pressed. Microaggressions add up. He pulled me close. Then fight with me. Not against. The real conflict brewed at the nonprofit's annual gala, black tie in a midtown ballroom. Jordan was honored for his advocacy, me his proud +1 in a rented tux. Speeches flowed, toasts to resilience. Then, Claire, board member now, took the mic, praising him effusively. Jordan's not just a leader, he's a man of discretion and class. The kind we need more of. The subtext landed like a gut punch, straight passing, safe. Whispers rippled. Jordan accepted his award stiffly, speech faltering on thanks to the man who taught me to season my life with courage. Backstage, Claire cornered him. Beautiful words. But maybe edit for the donors next time? I stepped in, voice steel. Or own it. All of it. She blinked, then smiled thinly. Protective. Cute. Jordan defused, but the ride home crackled. She's an ally, he insisted. An ally who flirts and undermines? Wake up. His jaw set. Not everyone's a villain, Alex. Neither are you. But ignoring this? It makes you complicit. He dropped me at home, silence deafening. The next morning, flowers and a note. You're right. Confronting her today. He did, resigned from the board subtly, citing misalignment. But the damage lingered, trust frayed. Mia hosted an intervention over wine. You two are oil and water. Beautiful emulsion, but shake too hard, and it breaks. Jordan showed for the next session, vulnerable. I hate how it hurts you. Makes me question everything. Don't, I said, hand in his. Just choose us. Fully. Fall brought harvest, literal for my kitchen, figurative for us. A small investor bid on the restaurant pitch, queer-owned fund with no strings. We signed the lease. A cozy spot in Chelsea, windows overlooking the Hudson. Ours, Jordan whispered, key in hand. But climax loomed with his dad's unannounced visit. Thanksgiving, turkey simmering. The man entered like a storm, Eliza trailing apologetically. Family dinner, he grunted. Even for this. Tension thickened the air. Forks scraped, small talk strained. Then, Dad fixed on me. So, the chef. Jordan says you're talented. But talent's nothing without backbone. I met his gaze. Backbone's what built this meal. And our life. He paused, then, astonishingly, passed the gravy. Not absolution, but a truce. As he left, he clapped Jordan's shoulder. Proud of you, son. Finally. Tears fell later, Jordan's head on my lap. We did it. Not done, I murmured. Just seasoned right. The restaurant opening was a whirlwind of controlled chaos, the kind that makes or breaks a dream in one sweat-soaked night. Chelsea's streets thrummed with holiday lights, but inside La Cucina Arcobaleno, Rainbow Kitchen, we were a frenzy of plating and plating prayers. I'd hired a small crew. Mia as expediter, her commands barked with loving ferocity. Lena on front of house. Charming tables with her dimpled smile. A couple of queer-line cooks from the bistro, tattoos peeking from sleeves like badges of survival. Jordan handled the books from a corner desk, his tie discarded, sleeves rolled, shouting orders when a reservation system glitched. Table 5 needs the gluten-free ravioli stat. I called, sauce splattering my apron. The air hummed with sage and garlic, laughter bubbling amid the clatter. Our first service, 50 covers, every seat filled with friends, supporters, the curious. Jordan caught my eye across the pass, mouthing, "You got this." His presence grounded me, a reminder that this wasn't just food. It was defiance, love plated and served hot. Reviews trickled in positive. Eater called it a heartfelt debut with soul-stirring flavors, but success bred shadows. Competitors whispered, old money circled warily. Jordan's dad sent a check, for expansion, with a note, no strings. Yet, we cashed it cautiously, therapy teaching us vigilance. Winter deepened, and so did we. Mornings started with coffee and kisses, him sketching expansion plans while I sourced heirloom tomatoes. But misunderstandings fester, especially when past resurface. Claire, undeterred, applied for a volunteer spot at the nonprofit, Jordan's domain. She's qualified, he argued over brunch. And it's professional. Professional like her gala speech. I pushed eggs around my plate. He sighed. I set boundaries. Trust me. I did, until the joint event, a youth culinary workshop we co-hosted. Kids, ages 16 to 20, mostly trans and non-binary runaways, gathered in our back room, aprons tied with hope. I demoed knife skills. Jordan facilitated sharing circles. Claire arrived, clipboard in hand, all efficiency. She was good, gentle with a shy teen fumbling a dice, but her sidebar with Jordan grated. Laughs too easy, touches too familiar. One kid noticed, whispering to me, "Is she your rival?" Drama alert. I bit my tongue till cleanup. This collaborative? It's a mistake. Jordan frowned, stacking chairs. Why? It worked. Because she's circling. And you're blind. His voice rose. Or you're insecure. The kids had left, but echoes of their stories, rejection, loss, amplified the hurt. Insecure? After your family? I'm realistic. He deflated. I'm sorry. I'll handle it. Claire quit the next day, citing scheduling. Vindication soured, though. Jordan withdrew, late nights at the office masking doubt. Am I enough? He asked one midnight, rain pattering windows. More than, I replied, pulling him close. But the seed of conflict sprouted. Spring brought growth. Dinner series with queer authors, packed houses. Mia proposed to Lena in the walk-in, ring hidden in a flour sack. We toasted with limoncello, tears and cheers. Jordan and I talked rings too, casual over gelato walks. When you're ready, he said. But readiness cracked under pressure. A major donor pulled funding from the nonprofit. Rumor tied to controversial leadership, code for Jordan's visibility. Board meetings turned tense, him coming home drained. They want me to dial back, less pride flags, more subtlety. Fuck that. I snapped, slamming a cabinet. This is who you are. It's survival, he countered. For the kids. Survival or assimilation? The argument escalated, words weaponized. You're doing it again, hiding to please. And you're pushing me into a corner. He grabbed his jacket. I need air. The door shut, leaving me with cooling risotto and regret. Mia found me pacing. Give him space. But not forever. He returned at dawn, shadows under eyes. I resigned from the board. Again. For real this time. Relief flooded, but so did fear. What now? Now? We build our own board. You, me, Mia, the unbreakable kind. Summer sizzled, restaurant thriving, us tentative. A weekend getaway to the Catskills, cabins, hikes, no cell service, mended fractures. By the lake, he proposed properly. On one knee, ring simple silver with a sapphire. Marry me, Alex. Let's make every night a feast. Yes, I breathed, pulling him up. Salt Lake kisses, promises etched in water. But high points plummet. Back in the city, Eliza called, pregnant, joyful, but Dad's health failing. Heart scare, she said. He wants to see Jordan. Us. The visit was fraught. Hospital room sterile, beeps underscoring fragility. Dad, frail in gown, gripped Jordan's hand. I was wrong. About everything. Don't waste time like I did. Tears fell, forgiveness fragile. I love him, Dad. That's not changing. A nod, weak but real. Then bring him to Christmas. Hope flickered, but prejudice's tendrils reached further. A scathing online review hit. Not of food, but us. Anonymous post on a food blog. La Cuisine is great, but the owner's agenda overshadows the plates. Stick to straight cuisine. It went viral in niche circles, reservations dipped. Jordan obsessed, refreshing tabs. It's backlash. Or bigotry, I said. We fight it, with better food, louder love. We did. A Pride menu special, proceeds to youth shelters. Crowds returned, but tension simmered. The climax brewed at our engagement party, Mia and Lena's planning, rooftop bash in Bushwick. Friends toasted, city sparkling below. Then, Claire crashed, tipsy, uninvited. Heard the news. Congrats. But Jordan, we need to talk. That donor? I can fix it. For old times. Drunk courage flared. Old times are dead, I said, stepping forward. Leave. She laughed, bitter. Protective much? He was mine first, in the closet anyway. Gasps rippled. Jordan paled. Claire, stop. Truth hurts, she slurred. You played me, us, to hide. Security, Lena's call, escorted her out, but damage bloomed. Whispers turned to questions, friends pulling Jordan aside, doubt seated. Later, alone on the railing, he broke. Is it true? Did I use people? I cupped his face. You were surviving. Now, you're living. But the party deflated, early exits. Mia cornered me. Handle your drama queens. Fall stripped leaves, mirroring us. Therapy intensified, Jordan unpacking layers. Guilt, shame from years of performance. I hurt people, including you. Forgive yourself, I urged, or it poisons everything. A breakthrough came unexpectedly. Dad's visit to the restaurant, unannounced, with Eliza and her bump. He ordered the full tasting, ate silently, then, best meal of my life. Like your mother would have made, if she believed in second chances. Vulnerability cracked him open. I do now. As snow threatened, Jordan and I planned the wedding. Small, Chelsea registry office, then reception at La Cusina. Full circle, he said. But one last conflict, a family ultimatum. Dad offered reconciliation, full inheritance, if Jordan reconsiders the public spectacle. Eliza mediated, torn. Jordan refused, voice steel over speakerphone. Love isn't negotiable. Goodbye for now. The line went dead, but so did a wait. Free, he whispered, collapsing into me. Winter solstice brought peace. Our first Christmas as fiancés, tree trimmed with recipe cards. Dad sent a card. No check, just proud. Invite stands. Healing, slow simmered. The wedding was a quiet revolution, not the spectacle his family craved, but a ceremony carved from our truths. Chelsea's old registry office, morning lights slanting through stained glass, held just 20. Mia as best woman, Lena officiant with her notary stamp and heartfelt vows. Our line cooks as witnesses, aprons swapped for suits. Jordan in navy, me in charcoal, rings exchanged simple as salt. With this, I promise every night, every bite you. We emerged into January chill, laughter trailing like steam. La Cusina awaited, transformed. Tables pushed aside for dance floor, menu our love letter, and a pasty of shared firsts, mains layered with conflicts overcome, dessert a tiramisu for sweet resolutions. Guests mingled, queer chosen family, a tentative Eliza with her glow, even Jordan's cousin who just happened to be in town. Dad was absent, but his card sat on the bar, toasting from afar. Love wins. The night pulsed, Mia's toast, roast heavy on Jordan's slow-cook realization. Toast from kids he'd mentored, voices steady with gratitude. We danced to a playlist of our making. Frank Ocean for the ache, Sam Smith for the hope, his head on my shoulder, whispering, "This is the feast I begged for." But joy's afterglow invites reflection, and ours unearthed buried tensions. Post-honeymoon, a week in Provincetown, beaches and bike rides, no kitchens, we dove into expansion. La Cusina's buzz demanded a second location, Brooklyn perhaps, farm-sourced. Investors circled, but so did doubts. Jordan, thriving in consulting for queer nonprofits, suggested a partner, an old colleague. Mark, openly gay, sharp as my paring knife. He's solid, Jordan said over sketches. Brings capital and connections. I hesitated, memory of Claire's stinging. Connections like your dad's world? Not like that. Mark's one of us. Out since 18, built his firm on inclusivity. We met him at a coffee shop, his energy infectious, broad grin, stories of fighting discrimination in boardrooms. Love the place, he said, eyeing our menu. Let's make it a chain. Rainbow kitchens, empowering LGBTQ entrepreneurs. It sounded perfect, but unease prickled. Mark's touches lingered. Arm on Jordan's back, laughs synced too perfectly. Paranoia? Or pattern? Mia clocked it first, over staff meeting pastries. New guys got eyes for your hubby. Watch. I dismissed it, but seeds sprout. Late nights, Jordan home smelling of espresso and Mark's cologne, client dinner. Texts pinged at odd hours, innocuous, great ideas tonight. One evening, post-service rush, I scrolled his phone, unlocked on the counter, betrayal's temptation. Messages from Mark, miss our talks. You're inspiring. Heart emoji. Gut twisted. Confrontation brewed over dinner. My osso buco, his favorite. What's with Mark? He paused, fork down. Colleague. Friend. Friend with flirty texts? His eyes widened. You check my phone? Left open. And yeah, I worry. History repeats. Anger flashed. Not fair. I'm not that guy anymore. Are you? Late nights, secrets, feels familiar. The plate pushed away, he stood. Trust is earned, Alex. I've bled for it. And I've cooked through it. But this? Feels like sabotage. He left for the couch, Dawn finding us strangers. Mia mediated brunch. Talk, don't accuse. We did. Raw. His vulnerability to affirmation after family rejection, my scars from dismissal. Mark's just. Easy, he admitted. No baggage. But we have baggage, and it's ours. I squeezed his hand. Set boundaries. He did. Professional only, texts archived. Mark backed off gracefully, partnership intact, but platonic. Spring bloomed anew, but prejudice struck externally. A local councilman, eyeing re-election, targeted special interest businesses, code for queer-owned. Zoned hearings loomed, our expansion permit threatened. Jordan rallied, testifying with fire. This isn't agenda, it's American dream. Hard work, love, served daily. Crowds cheered, but threats followed. Anonymized emails, go back to the closet, fairies. Police involved, but fear chilled. One night, rocks through our window, glass shattering like trust. Shards glittered on the floor amid broken plates. Jordan held me as sirens wailed. We're okay. But were we? Sleepless, I questioned. Is this the life? Constant fight. He cupped my face. Yes, because together, we win. Repairs came community-wide, fundraisers, viral support. The permit passed, expansion greenlit. Summer heat wave tested resilience. A heat lamp kitchen shift left me faint, Jordan insisting rest. You're the heart, don't burn out. His care deepened intimacy. Nights tangled, words whispered. But conflict simmered with Eliza. Her baby due, dad worsening, pressuring family unity. Come home, she pled. For the birth. Jordan wavered. It's my niece. Neutral ground. I nodded, but anxiety churned. The Hamptons trip, neutral? Or regression? We drove, tension thick as fog. The estate felt smaller, ghosts in the walls. Dad, weaker, greeted with a hug, frail arms surprising strong. Glad you're here. The birth was miracle. Tiny Sophie, cries piercing joy. Holding her, Jordan teared. Family redefined. But dinner cracked. Dad's offhand. Settled down proper, grandkids someday? To me. Jordan tensed. Dad, it's fine, I interjected, voice even. Dreams evolve. But love? That's fixed. Awkward silence. Then Dad's chuckle, rusty. Touché, chef. Return invigorated, but climax brewed at the Brooklyn site, groundbreaking. Shovels in earth, press snapping. Then protesters. Hate group, signs venomous. No gay agenda here. Scuffle erupted, a sign wielder lunging. Jordan shielded me. Fist raised, security swarmed. Bruised but unbroken, we faced cameras. This is our home. Back off. Viral again, support surged, donations, celebs dining. But privately, Jordan unraveled. What if it's too much? For us. I pulled him close, dirt-streaked. Then we season it, with more love. Fall Harvest Festival at Loch Husana. Feast of abundance, friends toasting survival. Mark attended platonically, toasting us. Dad even came. First public appearance, arm around Eliza, Sophie gurgling. His toast, to second chances. And damn good food. Tears, cheers. As leaves fell, so did walls. Autumn's palette painted Brooklyn in golds and crimsons, mirroring the warmth we'd fought to reclaim. The new location, Arcobaleno East, opened to lines around the block. Our menu expanded with seasonal twists. Pumpkin sage gnocchi, apple cider reductions evoking change. Jordan and I tag-teamed management, his business acumen balancing my culinary soul, nights ending in exhausted collapse, limbs entwined, whispers of gratitude. But equilibrium invites disruption, and ours came wrapped in opportunity. A national food network scout dined incognito, offering a TV spot. Queer Chefs of America, spotlighting trailblazers. Your story's gold. The producer gushed over coffee. Love, loss, lasagna, ratings bait. Excitement sparked, but caution tempered. Public, Jordan murmured. Irreversible. Which is the point, I countered. No more half measures. We signed on, filming starting winter, intimate, our kitchen is set. Prep was grueling, recipes scaled, lines memorized. Mia coached. Be you, sassy, sexy, sincere. First shoot, demoing our engagement ravioli, Jordan assisting, banter natural. He proposed with a ring in the dough, I quipped, camera rolling. Laughter rippled, chemistry electric. Clips leaked online, buzz building. But backlash brewed, trolls decrying propaganda. A rival blogger dredging Claire's old gala rant, twisting it into internal drama. Jordan obsessed, refreshing feeds. They're saying we're a gimmick. Or trailblazers. I deleted the app from his phone. Focus on us. Deeper conflict surfaced with Dad's decline. Cancer, late stage, whispered at family calls. Eliza begged. In the rift. For Sophie. Jordan visited alone first, returning hollow. He apologized. Properly. Wants you there. The hospital smelled of antiseptic and regret. Dad, gaunt, extended a hand. Alex, your food. It's healing, in a way. Families feed the soul. I replied, throat tight. His grip weakened. Take care of him. He's my legacy now. Tears fell as we left, Jordan sobbing in the car. I forgive him. Too late. Never, I soothed. Grace seasons everything. Winter gripped, filming intensifying. Episode guest. Mark, ironically, brought levity, but post-shoot drinks turned tense. Mark, tipsy. You two are magic. Jealous, honestly. Jordan laughed it off, but later, he's harmless. Harmless flirts erode, I said. Remember? Boundary reinforced, but doubt lingered. Then, surprise twist. Claire resurfaced, sober, emailing apology. I was hurt, lashing out. Congrats on the show, deserved. Jordan shared, seeking input. Forgive. Her actions, yes. Invite to the premiere. He did, redemption arc scripted. But climax detonated mid-filming. Leak of unaired footage, me venting about family prejudices, raw, unedited. Tabloids pounced. Chef's husband's homophobic dad exposed. Dad's illness private, now public spectacle. Jordan raged at the producer. Betrayal. We hunkered, phones off, Mia's couch sanctuary. This is war, she declared. Eliza called, furious. You aired our dirty laundry? Not us, Jordan explained. Sabotage. Reconciliation teetered. Dad, from bed. Ignore it. Fight smart. We did. Press conference. Owning the narrative. Our story's messy, like life. But love? Unbreakable. Support flooded, ratings soared. Claire attended premiere, tearful hug. Proud of you both. Spring renewal. Dad stabilized with treatment. Visiting Arcobaleno East. Sophie in high chair smashing peas. Grandpa's favorite, he joked weakly. Jordan and I, filming Wrapped, planned family, adoption talks, fostering youth. Our table's big enough, he said. But one final misunderstanding. A donor misheard clip, pulled funding, nonprofit hit. Jordan spiraled. My fault. Too visible. No, I insisted. Bigot's fault. We rallied. Gala fundraiser at La Cusina. Packed. Proceeds record. Dad emceed. Voice frail but fierce. To my sons. Blood and chosen. Summer solstice wedding vow renewal. Beach. Friends. Sophie flower girl. Vows updated. Through leaks and laughs. I choose you. Peace settled, but growth eternal. A third location? Maybe. TV spinoff. Possibly. But every night, his beg fulfilled. Cook for me, Alex. Always, I reply. Exclusively ours. Years layered like reductions, intensifying flavors we'd only begun to taste. La Cusina empire grew, third spot in Harlem, mentoring young queer chefs, scholarships funded by show residuals. Jordan helmed a foundation, housing for LGBTQ elders now, his speeches drawing crowds. Dad recovered enough for quarterly dinners, Sophie calling us Uncle Alex and Papa J, her giggles the sweetest sauce. But stories don't end. They evolve, conflict subtle as a hint of truffle. A new hire, talented, twinkish line cook named Riley, idolized Jordan, assistants veering admiration. Lingering glances, accidental brushes. I mentioned it lightly. Kid's got a crush. Jordan chuckled. Flattering. But you're it. Trust held, but Mia teased. Jealousy's spice. Adds kick. Deeper tension. Expansion strain. Investors pushed corporate. Chains over soul. Board meeting erupted. Standardized menus. No, I slammed. Our hearts handmade. Jordan mediated. Compromise. Core menu fixed. Specials free. But home arguments echoed. Change or die, he urged. Change without losing us, I countered. Resolution and compromise, as always. Surprise high. Dad's full remission party at the original. Toasts, tears, him dancing with Eliza. You saved me, he told Jordan. By being you. Fall brought legacy. Cookbook, deal, feast of us. Recipes with stories, proceeds to causes. Launch event, Claire MCNG, full circle. Climax whisper, health scare, my routine check, anomaly flagged. Biopsy wait, night's grip tight. If I started. No ifs, Jordan fierce. We're forever. Benign, relief crashing. Vows renewed privately. Every night, still. Winter closed the circle. Family trip to Italy. Nana's village, pastas from scratch. Dad, tagging along, chopping onions tearfully. Roots matter. Back home, kitchen eternal. Him begging, cook for me. Always. Hook set, story savored. In the end, love wasn't the laugh or the beg. It was the meal shared, misunderstandings minced, prejudices plated aside. Our table, set for two, forever expanding.